Alright, DITA Open Toolkit project files. They are a very useful part of the DITA Open Toolkit, which allows you to publish one or multiple data maps with one or multiple filters applied to various output formats, and to define this publishing capability in one file. So in one file, I can define the entire publishing needs of my user's manual. So the DITA OT project file has been a part of the DITA Open Toolkit support for years now, I think. Um, and I'm going to show you how it came to be useful also in one of our commercial products. So let's say I have the Oxygen user's manual, who has a user's manual data map, and it has a bunch of data filter files. So by applying one of these filters on the data map, I can obtain one of our deliverables like XML author, XML editor, web author, uh, feedback, the feedback platform, and so on. So for one data map, by applying one of these filters, and I can go to HTML, PDF, and so on. And a DITA OT project file can would usually define contexts. A context is a pair of data map and a profile, which may contain one or more dataval filter files. So you have these context pairs, and then you define the deliverables. Like I want to publish this context, the Oxygen XML author, to this output folder, and the publication could have the transformation type HTML5, and for each publication you can define parameters for publishing. So uh, it's all explained in the DITA OT documentation quite well. So you can use it from the command line like DITA minus project, and the reference to the project file, which can be in XML format or YAML or so on. Uh, we have uh, a commercial application called Oxygen Content Fusion. It's for allowing people to collaborate on review tasks in a web browser. And one feature we added in Content Fusion is the ability to connect it to a GitHub project. So you can say new project, and then you give the project name, the GitHub repository. In this case, is the Oxygen users manual. Uh, the branch in the GitHub repository to which you want to connect, if it's a private or a public repository, and then I can connect with my username and access token to that repository. So it will look like this. So I have Content Fusion connected to the Oxygen XML users guide, and I can see my content here, but I can also publish my content. So I go to the publications, and here I'm defining context. So maybe I want to publish the web author. So I'm defining a new context called web author. Uh, my data map is the only one data map that is in the Oxygen users manual, and the data val file is my filter. So where is the web author? Okay, web author. And now I have another publication context here. And then I can define my deliverables. I already have a bunch of deliverables defined. I will define one for web author, maybe to web help. Uh, Maybe the same description. I will choose web author as publication context. Uh, I may have some settings to enable automatic publishing when content changes in the GitHub repo. I choose if I want PDF or web help, a publishing template from either the templates gallery or from a custom source. And now I have defined a deliverable for web help to for web author to web help. So then I can start the build process, and this will start the DITA OT process. It will start the DITA Open Toolkit, and the DITA OT would create my web help output. and I can also start other publications from this panel. And we do this with the DITA OT project files underneath. So if I go to Git, I can see that there have been changes, and I think one of these changes should be, uh, yeah, it's an update to the DITA OT project file. So we keep a metadata folder in the Oxygen users guide, and this folder updates the DITA OT project file, which is used underneath by the publishing service. So for us, the DITA OT project file proved very useful as a format in which we store these publication contexts and deliverables. And once user define them, they can start the build process. And the DITA OT project file can also be used when editing content. For example, if I want to send for review one of our files. Open this one. Uh, Data topics may contain profiling conditions. They may contain key references and so on. So when I start a review task, I will be offered to also choose the publication context. Maybe I want to be it to be Oxygen XML author, and then I create the review task, and the review task will use this context to present the content to me. So, for example, this is faded out because I'm in the context of the XML author user's manual, uh, but other maybe content key references are resolved and so on. Again, in the Oxygen desktop, I can choose my publication contexts because Oxygen knows about this DITA project file. So for us as a commercial application, the DITA OT project file proved to be very useful, um, and it also allowed us to uncouple modules like if I want, if I go again to the Oxygen users manual, these two tabs are implemented as separate services, so they communicate through the DITA OT project file. Jarno said he likes complex diagrams, so this is for Jarno. Yeah, so this is our service. So our service uses the DITA OT project file from a cloned GitHub repository. It also modifies the DITA OT project file to add new deliverables and new publication context, and then uses this file to along with the clone of the repository to automate the publishing and generates the published output for the persons who want to review the output maybe in a PDF or something. So yeah, thank you, DITA OT project file. Do you have questions for me?
So what part of this was Content Fusion and what part was the publishing engine? Is the publishing engine being invoked in the background?
Yeah, so Content Fusion has what we call an Oxygen publishing service, which when you click build, it runs the DITA OT on the server side with the DITA OT project file, and maybe for a certain deliverable, and produces the output on the server side, and then I can download it locally as a PDF or a zip containing web help, for example. Other questions?